of like where you guys kind of want to go from this current point in time. And that's the thing I'm happy about. I'm happy to see the new faces and to see kind of where everyone goes and where the community kind of develops personally.
Yes, you love to see it.
I always love to see the community grow and be strong. But no more of the reminiscing of the old times. Now we got an actual match here. This is qwil versus MarkDM, as we were saying earlier. These two, for me, are still kind of fresh faces.
MarkDM, normally known for his Inkling, but maybe he doesn't believe this matchup is that great for Inkling, especially since Inkling doesn't really have the range to deal with Samus's range. So maybe he decided Greninja with faster movement and a little bit. It's a little bit easier to get past some of Samus's stuff as Greninja, I would assume.
Yeah. And I was talking with qwil earlier. He did tell me that for this quarter he is going to go, like Aegis and Samus, Dark Samus for the entire quarter, as he just kind of wants to brush up on these characters more for this quarter and kind of leave his Mewtwo on the back burner for this quarter, so he can sort of train up these characters, which I find very commendable, because Mewtwo, while he is like a good character, he unfortunately has a good amount of flaws that kind of separate him a little bit from this game.
Yeah, that is very true.
Especially from the last game. Because in Smash 4, Mewtwo was a very dominant force, I would say.
And honestly, Samus just sometimes feels like a better Mewtwo. Especially with that charge shot being much safer than Mewtwo's and being able to combo. Of course, Mewtwo's is able to combo, but...
Yeah, but Samus's, Dark Samus's is just safer.
Yeah. Here we see qwil ledge trapping MarkDM to, like you said, even up the game.
Yeah, he is evening up the game. MarkDM is also playing Greninja because he reminds me of somebody else who graduated in the same year I did, Driftwood.
Yes.
I see Greninja and I just think of Driftwood constantly. Maybe he picked it up because he saw Driftwood play and he's doing that, or maybe, like you said, he thinks he's picking it up for a logistical reason of like movement or whatever. But, you know, we can only speculate.
Yep.
And then, while the first stock I would say is even, now we can see qwil's kind of running away with this one a little bit.
Yeah, qwil is definitely slowing the pace down as Samus.
MarkDM can't necessarily seem to find a nice, like, solid landing for more than a couple of seconds. He keeps getting hit. But he is trying. He is still alive for the time being, so we can respect it. Ooh. That was a very close call spot dodge. Ooh. Is that F smash?
Yeah, that was F smash. It actually clanked.
Wow. We have Yoda Gaming returns, my god. Well, Yoda Gaming is now dead, unfortunately, down to his last stock. Well, I was not expecting to see the MarkDM Greninja, honestly. I don't know when this appeared, I don't know why it appeared. I'm not expecting it, but I am kind of enjoying it.
This match is honestly very close, despite the
I would say
deficit.
It seems like a lot of matches today, they're kind of going like, I would say like somewhat even in neutral, but it's just like one player kind of squeezing it out a little bit more. For this one, for example, I would say qwil over here, he squeezed out so much that he ended up winning in the first game, but it could also be that he just kind of got a read, because after the second and third stocks, it just seemed like so much of a dominant lead now for qwil's favor.
Yeah, definitely.
He just kind of got the download here. So let's see where they're trying to go.
It seemed like MarkDM had a bit of an issue getting around the Samus bombs on the ledge, as a lot of characters do. But he's going to have to figure out how to get around that if he wants to bring it closer.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And now he's chosen Dark Samus. And if I recall, the main distinction between Samus and Dark Samus is their charge shot height, right?
I think it's that, and also I think their role is a little different as well, because Samus goes into her ball, so I think it's a little slower actually. But
Because I know for a fact the charge shot height is one of them, but oh, and now we have oh no, he is now Tilt DM. He has changed to Aegis.
yeah, sadly Yoda Gaming is no longer here.
Yoda Gaming is now dead on the ground, and he has just ran into up B twice. Oh, you can kind of see he's a wee bit tilted. I can kind of see it in his playstyle, but qwil just going off of that aggression and sort of making sure that he can get as much sort of padding as possible on his lead. What do you expect to see from the player this match, and what do you think MarkDM can do to sort of improve in this situation here?
I mean, because of Mythra's better neutral, as she's very fast and she can actually get around a lot of Dark Samus' stuff. I would like to see a lot of Mythra in this, especially with that foresight, being able to foresight a lot of stuff. And we see a great up B call out.
We see a great Pyra up B call out, yes. I would say in the beginning it was a little shaky, but we do see it seems like he is bringing it back. So we do like to see a little bit of a comeback here. A little bit of an underdog story, one might even say. But over here, now I feel like qwil just kind of can't. Now it seems like qwil's the one that can't necessarily find a landing here.
Yeah.
And MarkDM is the one just kind of juggling him.
MarkDM is using his frame data really well, to be honest, making it really hard for qwil to, like you said, get any sort of standing or gain any position, which Samus does kind of need. And
a very nice call out, get up attack in for MarkDM that just respond with the F smash and end the stock. He's like, nah, listen, my tag might be Tilt DM, but you're the one pressing buttons here. You're the one that's just mashing over here. He's just calling him out with all of this. Oh, he's just not letting him live. He's just not letting him live.
Oh my. And a great showing from the Tilt DM.
A clean 3 stock as well. This is something, like I said, I wasn't expecting Greninja, but I also wasn't expecting Aegis.
Yes, that
and
is.
And not only that, also a 3 stock on qwil.
Oh, and we are seeing qwil swap to Pyra. I was about to ask, I wonder if qwil's going to stick with the Samus and try to ledge trap the Pyrometer, or if he's going to swap to another character, and it looks like we found our answer.
I'm gonna sleep, wake me up in the game. Nah, dittos are something I just do not vibe with. But also, we do see MarkDM going for the reverse palette swap versions of the characters as well.
Maybe it's a mind game, maybe it's just he likes the color.
Perhaps. No clue. The brain is a very weird thing with psychology, and color choice and everything could just play an impact on how players play in the game. There's a whole study about it on basically like what color you choose and what team you're on kind of affects playstyle as well. I don't know if you heard, but they were basically saying if you're like on a blue side, you tend to be like more defensive, more calm in like your games, and if you're on red side, you tend to be people kind of tend to be more aggressive, more attack focused as well in their playstyles. But that is just a study. That doesn't, and it's just. And while it is a survey of like, I forget how many people, but I think it was like thousands of people, that isn't true of everybody. Everybody's different. Ooh, almost got a kill. And here we do see the percents are roughly even. So it seems, so both these characters are pretty even in this, but MarkDM is the one that's able to get the first kill off of it. You Aegis Ditto, I sleep. Mercs, I agree with you. I am ready to fall asleep.
Honestly, I think if Qwil had swapped back to Mythra earlier in last stock, because Mythra is just so much slower. Sorry, Pyra is just so much slower. Oh,
It was a nice confirmed downer of Smash. Very true and very lethal. Although I did kind of expect this, since I was saying earlier, Qwil was saying he was going to go Aegis and Samus the entire set. So it would be pretty odd if we see Aegis, if we see MarkDM's Aegis and not Qwil's.
yeah. Especially since it seemed like Qwil could not breathe as Samus against the MarkDM Mythra.
Yes. So, seeing this is exactly what I think he needs, and yeah, now we see Qwil sort of dominating. There seems to be a back and forth of who's dominating who's, essentially, because the last game we saw MarkDM. Yes. Because the last game we saw MarkDM dominating Qwil with Aegis against Samus, and now it's the opposite with the Aegis data. Anthony getting tilted against the same character he's playing. I mean, it's the game.
We actually saw Qwil go back to the Samus despite just winning the Ditto earlier.
Maybe he thinks he's got a read on his playstyle now, and because with 2 games under his belt, and he feels confident enough that he can do it with Samus instead of going through the Ditto. And I guess the opening for the set was kind of good enough, where I feel like he did kind of get a read, and now I feel like it could also be, maybe he did that to also shake up Anthony a little bit, because if you're doing a Ditto match as well, you kind of see what the other character's doing in real time, and you think, oh hey, maybe I should try that as well. So now maybe who knows, maybe now MarkDM will just try and do some of the tactics Qwil did to win that game, but maybe not execute it as cleanly or whatever, and then it'll just work up in Qwil's favor at the end of the day. But again,
very true.
It is starting off even. Just a lot of trading blows, a lot of push and pull between both characters. We have the Mythra switch and
The slight offstage interaction.
oh yes, this is an offline actually. These two is a hologram, and they both have green screens. We just green screened the TSS room just to try and make this work. COVID is actually back in full force. It is 2050. Please help us. We are stuck in the simulation. Help, help. Wake up, wake up, wake up. But back to the match.
MarkDM has actually been getting a lot of these stocks with that Pyra up B.
Pyra up B is an extremely strong move, and it is a very, I wouldn't say deceiving, but if you get hit in the first hit, it's like essentially just say goodbye. You are going to get hit by the second, I feel. But Qwil is not giving up. He's trying to make sure MarkDM does not breathe off of this, and he's just trying to make sure he gets a lot of percent off of him. But now MarkDM is coming back with it. Nice double swap. Almost went for the spike, but it didn't connect yet. Nice side B from MarkDM, getting rid of the tether. Oh, that we hate to see it. We really hate to see that here. That is extremely unfortunate.
And with that, ooh, the shield poke from the up B.
Yeah, they couldn't even do anything really. You can't even adjust the shield for that shield poke too. Even if you like adjust it fast enough, I feel like it would still kind of clip you a little bit. But there's that other up B you were talking about earlier. Finishing the stock, but 62% of extra credit in Qwil's favor. So he's got a little bit of, MarkDM's got a little bit of ground to make up here if he wants to sort of come out on top of this one. And again, Qwil's just not letting him breathe. He just wants to stay far, get a couple of chip damages in it, and then probably finish off with like either a nair or a fair or bear. One of those moves will just probably finish off his last stock of the series of the tournament. because one more game, or one more stock, and MarkDM is out of here, unfortunately. Nice foresight to dodge, but even though that might be stale, that up throw is going to end it. I feel like that SD might have killed off his momentum a little bit, unfortunately.
But still, I think that was a great showing. It was close, even with the SD. And